Hello everybody and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be talking about how to fall into barrels and just the best way of getting out of the chaotic impacts that happen inside of barrels. So today I wanted to touch on basically just how to fall in the barrel, the best way to get out of a wave and reduce the amount of actual beatings that you're going to get either onto the sand or onto the reef while you are surfing these pretty heavy or just fun waves that you're on. The idea behind this still stems from another video that I've done way back, and that was how to duck dive. I used a diagram from Mike Stewart that he drew up years ago just to illustrate exactly how waves break and what there is inside of the wave that really kind of helps you to understand where to fall and where you want to be falling on these waves. Please do not get this confused with ducking out of the foam area, although I will be doing a video about that. I do that pretty often in the GoPro clips, and a few of you have come to me and said, can you explain exactly how that works, where's the best place to do it, etc, etc. I will be doing that video in the next few weeks for you guys. I looked at the analytics and it turns out that 72% of you guys are not subscribed to my channel, so please go on and subscribe to the channel before we get going in this video, as well as going onto my Instagram page where I post content daily there for you guys, and this will just help you to answer questions and ask any questions that you need to. I am also available to answer any of you guys' questions if you just hit me up in the DMs. Otherwise, leave a comment on any of the posts and I will get to you guys as soon as possible. The idea behind this video is just to kind of help you guys just explain exactly how and where are the best places to duck out of waves if you're caught in a closeout or if you're in a barrel and something has to happen. These are the best ways and kind of instincts that you can have in order to get out of the way of probably the heaviest impact. So when we are talking about waves, first of all, you do not want to fall underneath the lip. This is one place where the lip will actually drive you straight into the sand or into the reef, and you are going to hit the bottom. There's no two ways about it. Regardless of where you're surfing, the chances of getting out of the way there are very slim. It'll probably be a miracle if you get out of the way of the lip. So first off, I just want to explain a little bit more on the Mike Stewart diagram and just explain to you guys exactly what I mean by shock waves and different impact areas on the wave, and will help you better understand the rest of this video. So when we look at the Mike Stewart diagram, you're going to see the sea level as well as the lip of the wave coming down, and that most impact that you're going to have and the most apparent impact is going to be that first piece. Now this is really where the wave is going to hit, and it's going to send that shock wave up, and that's what bounces back inside the barrel. A lot of the time when you're watching barrels, you see this massive explosion on the inside, and that is actually where the lip is landing. It's forcing water back up and into the barrel. So this motion is known as the shock wave, and this is the piece that comes back at you, and majority of the time this is where the foam ball starts to roll inside of the barrel and will either push you up or keep you held inside of the barrel. The idea when you are falling in the barrel is that you actually want to fall in front of the shockwave in order for that shockwave to push you out and out the back of the wave. Now I'm going to put up a couple video clips just to show you guys exactly how I fall and where exactly you want to fall. Now, you don't want to fall where the lip is landing. As I've said before, this is a very, very dangerous area. This will drive you straight down into the reef because that's where that energy is going. The energy is going straight down, and that means if you land underneath that, you're going straight down with it. So what you will see in a lot of my clips that I'm about to play is that a lot of the time I am turning onto my back and actually falling into the barrel back first. Now, I've done this for a long time, and it's almost become instinctual for me to fall into that area and then get swept out of the back without actually landing in the turbulence of the wave. The idea is that you're actually falling into the foam of the wave, or what you would now refer to as the foam ball inside of the barrel. and that's actually forcing you up the wave and out the back. Now don't get this confused with falling mid-face inside the barrel. Falling mid-face, you're actually going to land in the wave and get sucked over the falls and pushed down again. This will result in possibly hitting the reef or hitting the sand, but at the same time, knowing where to fall on the waves is probably your best bet for getting out of trouble. So let's get into a couple videos just to show you exactly where I land and where the best and safest places to land inside the barrel are going to be. So I just want to take you through a couple of these waves, and this first one is a very good example of exactly where the shockwave is and then where the trough will be located. So as you can see here, when we freeze the frame, this is the shockwave coming up the wave from the lip, and that is the part where it's going to push your board up the face. As we continue a little further, that is where the trough is, and that's kind of where my eyes are focused. I'm going to be landing inside that trough, and as I go forward here, I land on my back in the trough, get washed around a little bit, and then come up for air. This next wave is another really good example, but this time I want to show you exactly where the lip is going to land and where you don't want to be. So that is where the lip is going to be landing, and you need to avoid that. But again, you can see my board gets pushed up the side of the wave and kind of out the way a little bit, and then I am able to kind of land in that trough and actually get worked not so bad and pop up quite quickly after the wave. This next one, we are going to be looking at just the standard wave, the whole thing all together, just avoiding that lip and then trying to fall into the shockwave. You can see how the shockwave has pushed my board up, and I've actually landed in that shockwave and been pushed underwater, and then all of a sudden I pop up with not much foam around me and not much turbulence and get back on the board and paddle out. This last wave is from Hawaii, and you can see I actually got dropped in on here, but for the most part I wanted to talk about falling even on the reef, and you can see I fell into the trough and was automatically ejected straight out of the back. There's no real turbulence or foam around me, and I just wait for my board to get released and then pushed out of the back. So as you guys can see, landing at the bottom of the wave or inside the barrel in that trough is going to force you out the back of the wave, and this is probably the best place to do it. Now, although we talk about this a lot, it's really understanding how waves break and how the energy is transferred from one direction to the other. Understanding this movement and exactly how this goes, as well as getting a lot of experience by surfing as often as possible, will help you to get out of these situations that you might not have understood before. Reading waves and just understanding how they break and where the energy is transferred is going to get you the best idea as to how to get out of these waves and out of those situations that you're going to be putting yourself into. There are a few times where you are going to fall and you are maybe going to hit the reef, but don't let this discourage you from trying again and again. These are things that you learn from failure, and unfortunately going through this process and understanding waves and actually getting into those situations are going to better you as a waterman and as a person who just loves the ocean and wants to stay in the ocean. I hope you have really understood these videos and exactly what I'm trying to portray for you guys. I will talk about the alternative to this, ducking out in front of waves, in a future video. So if you guys want to see more of that, please leave a comment down below. And if you have any more questions, feel free to hit me up either on here or hit me up on my Instagram. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, as well as hit that notification bell to get notified first on these videos, and we will see you in the next one.